Greetings, Metanthropes, and welcome to a very special episode of a legit cast. Actually, it is a legitimate live stream of Metanthropes anthologies. We are live, as you can see underneath me. We have live updates how the campaign is going. As I can see, yes, the chat is on the wrong side. No biggie, we can remedy this pretty fast. I'm your host narrator John. Thanks everyone for joining. Thanks to our very special members of our community, namely Gold, MB, Carl. Greetings to the Chaotician writer. Greetings to Ziggy. Greetings to Neil. And what was loud? Oh, the sound effect. Sorry. Apologies. But now I am not alone. I am joined by QP, who is with us via voice. Greetings, QP. QP, I'm not sure I can hear you. If you're still muted, maybe check the mute. QP is our fellow co-founder of Legitimate Games and developer of the module that you are seeing in the middle of the screen with this beautiful animated token here by 2D Storyteller. Today is all about showcasing our demo and quick start, so we have lots of beautiful things to show you. Let us double check where is QP, and let me do that real quick. Unmute. What is muted? Some technical
Hello,
stuff.
everyone.
Greetings.
If you can hear me okay.
I can hear you. Chat, please welcome QP and tell us if you can hear QP as well. Greetings, QP. QP? I briefly heard you for a bit.
Greetings,
yeah.
everyone. Thanks
hear you
everyone
now.
for joining.
Shout out to QP. Tell us on chat that you can hear both of us, that you can see everything, that the music is not loud and stuff, so we can begin our demonstration. Thank you everyone for joining. Loud and clear says 3-0, so I think we're good, QP. We have amazing stuff to show you, both in the VTT realm and in the quick start. Where should we begin? What exactly are we seeing here?
Awesome. John, if you would like, please unmute yourself on Discord, because I can only hear you through the stream.
All right.
And there's a bit of a delay.
Right. I haven't seen that one. I don't know. Cool. So I think it's better for us now too. Yeah, we are synced.
Okay, great.
Cool. So, greetings everyone, and how about we begin by showing you a little bit from our VTT. What do we have in front of us here, QP?
So on the right-hand side of the screen is the quick start, the PDF file that we're gonna talk about in detail in a bit. And that is actually within the VTT itself as a journal for quicker reference. However, the full content of the quick start is going to also be included in journals as separated pages. But you also have the PDF itself, and this is not the actually current live build for the system. It's going to be released later during our campaign, where you're going to have a little bit of the new user interface as well. John will not show a lot of the current build online for you. This is just a tease. We will have later during our campaign some meta arena events. We're gonna also be talking about this in detail later, where you guys are going to be able to join and do some live action combat online here through the Twitch chat, but more on that later. John, what we see in the background, if you'd like to minimize the quick start journal, so we can show folks
Sure
minimize
thing,
the quick
QP.
start,
Yeah.
please?
Yep.
Sure. So what we have is on the back of the screen Foundry VTT running with Metanthrope system. We're currently in the Opera map. This battle map is part of the Metanthrope's introductory a module for Foundry VTT, and we have a special guest, I should say, in the opera, one that folks here haven't seen before. John, would you like to talk a little bit about Subscale? And
Yes, indeed. So this is the base form of the animated token of the Concertmaster Samsel, as you can see. Samsel is a paragon metanthrope really in powers. Her prime meta power is biomorphic meta powers, hence the tentacles and this interesting shape. And what we saw earlier was actually cool effects that you can include on any token via Foundry VTT. So definitely you can play around with multiple versions of Samsel from the multiverse, tormenting your players or being their savior, I suppose. And yeah, it's really cool having this animated token and having your players interact with it.
I
Among
have
having
yet
others.
seen a story where Samsel is the savior. But yeah, it's everything possible in the multiverse, so even that is definitely doable.
And yes, you will have the chance to play against this token during a campaign in a live boss fight that we have on the 24th. And after the campaign, should you choose to follow us on our journey, this could be, among other, in your arsenal as a narrator to do as you please with your players. So fun to move around. Even the shadows. Let's zoom in a bit on the shadow. Look at that. Fascinating stuff. So we have a live Q&A. Anything you want, you can ask and we shall answer the best of our abilities. I would like to take us through the quick start for starters, and then go back to the VTT and explore it together. So in this quick start, which is free right now, you can find in metanthropes.com/quickstart, and you can download for free without the need to sign up. This has been a work of passion for us, with many creative people involved, and we are very proud of the outcome. You can check the credits here. Primarily shout out to our creative design, One Sick Puppy, and our concept art and illustrator for this zine, Robot Pencil, as this very interesting cosmic character that we see over here. And also the brilliant fourth wall breaking, out of the box thinking design from Spiros and One Sick Puppy. So going over the basics of what an RPG is and how you roleplay, we get into the basics of what is a metanthrope, what are the meta powers, and what is the nature of a protagonist in this game. Protagonists are the player characters, and they have a bit of a special role, shining bright in an endless void of the multiverse, you can say. And afterwards, it discusses the main themes that are present in almost every session of Metanthropes, if not every single one. For the setting, we give a brief overview of some of the dimensions that can be included, what lies out there in space, and what exactly is the multiverse for us, which is in fact we portray it as an orchestra. And QP, if you do not mind, I would like to read the stuff here in the next following part to our audience.
No, absolutely. I think it's important to establish clearly how we perceive the universe, the multiverse story being told.
So this is a two-page spread, obviously. I would like you to imagine that you find yourself inside the Grand Opera House where a cosmic symphony unfolds, and some listen, some perform, and a rare few actually compose its internal melodies. So most people who are passerby and walk around the opera, away from the opera, are the bystanders and may glimpse the exterior but remain unaware of the wonders inside. In these ranks you can find all humans and even some metanthropes who haven't been initiated to the I suppose overarching storyline with the multiverse and the opera and all the multiversal foes. But for those who hold the ticket, the audience, the doors open to a reality far larger than they could ever imagine. These are the metanthropes and the other metapowered entities such as spirits or other extraterrestrial entities, which who observe the rules, lore, and the intricate harmonies of the cosmic symphony. But that's not all. In fact, far from it. As then there are the performers, the instruments of the cosmic symphony, who take center stage, capable of influencing the very rhythm and tone of the cosmic symphony. Among them are the player characters, the protagonists that we mentioned earlier. And soon they realize their full potential and realize that what they can do is actually limitless in this game. But above them stands the Concert Master, the most powerful metanthrope of a single timeline, wielding nigh omnipowered abilities, serving as a keystone to one of the multiversal factions. They shape the tempo of the entire universe, of their entire universe. So this one is a singular because they are tied to a specific timeline. And our centerfold, Metanthropes Anthology's characters, the ones that you see on the covers, the tentacle lady over here, as some people call it, and Magis Takadi and Oneiros are in the Concert Master level. But those who have been with us from the very beginning might have met some of our conductors who lie even above. Beyond the performers rise the conductors, comprehensively powerful beings who oversee multiple timelines, and these guides scan the multiverse, influencing events and recruiting new metanthropes to expand the orchestra of existence. So they are, in fact, the quest givers. They have the capability of creating and annihilating, I suppose, timelines at will. Those who have tasked the mighty conductors with their quest are the enigmatic orchestrators. They are the composers of the symphony, and their agendas or identities remain mystery for most, even for the conductors themselves. So tell me, Metanthrope, are you really a member? Are you merely a member of the audience, content to observe, or will you step into the spotlight and take your role as an instrument in the grand cosmic symphony? Destiny awaits. Apologies, was a bit difficult reading from that distance, but I think I pulled it off. Don't you think, UP?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that essentially this is a great way to present the different power levels or power level tiers, perhaps, that exist in the game. I think that if you consider the fact that we want this game to set players in a multiverse perspective rather than your average, tavern dwelling, rat killing level 1 experience you would get in some other role playing games. The idea here is that from the very first session, you're introduced to a multiverse um, of possibilities and worlds and antagonists and whatnot. So this going from the bystander to the audience to the instrument to the concert master to the conductor is essentially a power scale.
The
Wouldn't you
who's
say,
who.
John?
Yeah, it's the who's who among metanthropes, essentially. But that's not all. When we discuss our first chapter, Enter Meta, we also briefly discuss the multiversal factions that exist out there, from the technocraties, explorers of the future driven to uncover timelines far ahead of their own, where cosmic phenomena and technological marvels can be found, to the Sumerian kings and ancient cadre of immortal beings who have subtly guided the course of human civilization across countless timelines, to the Collectiva who envisions the unification of metanthropes and humans across all timelines, and even the enigmatic Autonomia, an assembly of metanthropes dedicated to guiding those lost and overwhelmed by the vastness of the multiverse. So definitely a wide array of NPCs that can be found out there in the multiverse, but it's not all of them friendly. In fact, there are also some multiversal threats out there who essentially possess metapowers the same way that metanthropes do, but exist in far, far greater numbers as a collective, and in their arsenal are included metapowers such as metacognition of our game, which allows you to essentially break the fourth wall, allowing them to be self-aware as the nigh impossible omni-threat that exists throughout the whole multiverse, and thus creating some very interesting and beyond comprehension challenging adversaries out there. How about QP? We talk a little bit about the mythos of our game, but I will have to bring it somewhere here to be able to read it more easily. And then there is a fable of the elusive prime timeline, the whispered origin of all things. A theoretical construct, perhaps, one that, when inquired upon, offers only fragments. Yet, within those shattered pieces, you may still find glimpse shards of the grand cosmic truth. For what is the search of the prime timeline, if not yearning to answer the oldest questions of them all? Where does it all begin? What meaning does existence hold? They spoke of the cosmic symphony already playing. The orchestrators, first to awaken, were the first to listen, to feel the cosmic symphony. With their true soul, they asked a question within themselves. Where does it all begin? Who strikes the first note? And as they sought its source, a grand paradox took its shape. For in trying to grasp the prime timeline, their consciousness ignited a spherical nova, radiant and infinite. From its blinding core, thin, pure, bright rays burst out, piercing in every direction. Each ray, a timeline stretching endlessly. Endless possibilities born in that instant. It was then that the factions splintered, some chasing where the light would lead, others seeking where it begins. And so the great divide began. But what lies in the heart of this nova? That is another tale. They speak of the Veil, a city outside of space and time, a place where your very thoughts becomes substance, where your emotions weave the fabric of existence. There, ideas bloom into radiant shards of light, birthing timelines with every fleeting notion. It stands as a testament to Metanthrope ingenuity, hidden yet omnipresent, a sanctuary and a final bastions against the multiversal threats that exist between realities. Perhaps, if you listen closely, in the stillness between worlds, you can hear it too, the distant, rhythmic melody of the cosmic symphony calling you home. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you had fun listening. I'm gonna throw a clap sound effect just for the sake of it. Okay.
Thank you.
Uh,
Um, well, I have to say that this again brings in some new concepts. So perhaps we could stay a bit and elaborate on the symphony and the myth part. Perhaps some of the audience have any questions. Guys, please feel free to drop your questions in chat. We'll do our best to answer them.
everything you say we shall interact with and will be part of the YouTube video later because the chat is now in this format present. So go ahead, ask us questions, challenge us, ask about the lore, the rules. But since we are in chapter 2 rules, and although we have beautiful tables here to show you as this one with our new font awesome and our own very own font, I think it would be cooler if we showed the simple things, how criticals and stuff like that work in the VTT. Or should we keep it for the next live stream QP where we have more stuff on the chat, more up to date?
Oh, it's definitely possible to do some roles and explain some of the basic function of the system as a quick demo.
Cool. So let's go and make some rolls. If you're not familiar with the system, this is a D100 roll. Our characters have their stats in the form of a percentage. So this one is like a 62%. If I click it, and you see like the dice hovering, I rolled a very...
John, perhaps you want to move the window there.
Yeah. I rolled very poorly. This is the character created by Spiros, actually. Shout out to Spy. And as you can see, the VTT informs me with emojis and all the nice stuff, exactly what I needed to roll and how many destiny I have to use and spend to reroll. And if I don't like the result, I just click on that button. It replaces the box here with the previous message. Actually, QP, do you want to get into this cool stuff yourself?
Sure. See, I always succeed when I roll.
Would you like to explain to the audience what's going on with the chat? Yeah.
So the idea here is that currently in this prototype build, you interact through the chat window. Actually, coming pretty soon with the version 13, our new UI will actually present the information either in a dialog box in a window, so that you decide, and then the result is the final result is displayed in chat for everyone to see. But John, perhaps you can showcase some of the responsive UI for the character sheet. Because you initially opened up the character sheet and it looked different than it looks now. So maybe you want to talk a little bit about that.
Well, I can showcase it, but I would prefer if you talk about it a little better.
Oh, sure. So what is John showing to you right now is the various sizes that the character sheet can take on your screen. And depending on the size of the window, it will display more or less information. helping you to reduce the clutter on your screen. We find it very hard to be able to immerse ourselves in the role play when there's tons of windows hiding the battle map if you're into some kind of battle, or perhaps you want the screen real estate to be covered with your journals and notes when you're out there adventuring and talking to some important NPCs. So to be able to display only the information that you require to have while still being able to do things like rolling when you're
Oh my god, I just made a critical success
congratulations,
roll.
a critical success.
Oh wow. As
And
you can
then
see,
the
things are
composer
popping
rolls
out
and they
here.
get a
Wow.
critical. So yeah, you can still interact, you can still activate meta powers, do stat rolls, and other things while keeping the screen real estate that this thing takes to the minimum.
I think
Um,
those two are my two favorites. I think this one is my favorite personally. This little box. So you have like you can have your meta powers here. You can throw a strike. It's very convenient, very handy. This one, and I've never seen this like responsive character sheet anywhere else. I should say. And it's definitely really cool, as you can see. And
yeah, it is kind of the possibilities that are unlocked with Foundry VTT compared to other VTT platforms out there. The ability to really customize the UI, and spoiler alert, version 13 really takes it to another level. So we can't wait to show you what we have in store for there as well. But even now, with our current version 12 builds, there's a lot of cool little things like that that we feel make the difference when really trying to immerse yourself in a virtual tabletop experience. Speaking of, perhaps we could elaborate a little bit about some of the narrator tools and macros that we have, because in order to keep everyone immersed, the narrator needs to be well, I should say, to be enabled by the VTT to focus on the storytelling and the experience rather than fiddling with controls and settings all the time.
yeah. So this one, for example, we can a quick hotfix on a character's name and the total experience, destiny, life. This is editing their details, essentially a hotfix. You know, very important, very useful to have.
Perhaps
Like
I say start with the assigned player, because that's perhaps the most
from the character
the
sheet.
first thing that narrators will see.
So let's hide this one.
So when a new actor is created, essentially you only need to go to the summary tab, click the assign player button as a narrator, and choose the player that you want to control this character, essentially. And this means that the player now has control over the actor, the tokens, can re-roll for destiny, edit and progress the character and so on and so forth. And you don't need to go through your typical step of right-clicking the actor, assigning properties, ownership, and all that. That is more like Foundry UI specific on how you want to achieve giving a player control of the character. So if let's say you have a guy, well, actually this guy could when they progress their meta power, mind control another entity, right? So the narrator will just go and assign this player to the controller, and they now have access to it without going through too many hoops and clicks
Yeah.
and buttons. And many other automations will come as the system matures. But right from the get-go, we want to focus on really breaking the norm of what is expected and really help immerse both players and narrators in the story that they're driving and
Yeah,
working on and
because
playing.
in the end,
So
all these virtual tabletop tools are meant to help your immersion and make distance feel seamless in playing with others. I think that's what they do at the very core, and also save you lots of time with automations, and which makes it a much more enjoyable experience. This one again, hot fixes, very easy for a narrator and very useful. There are always hot fixes needed, but I think the most cool stuff are those which role-playing and action in Metanthropes is segmented into scenes. At the end of each scene, players are being awarded based on their roleplay with Destiny. Destiny are like a resource which can be used for rerolls, among other stuff. So at the end of the scene, a narrator can click this macro, and they will see that obviously there are like a lot of characters here in this demo world. Let's say that these are your player characters. You can see what their chosen arc and regression are, which are the two, the two reasons that you get XP in this game. Probably that's not a good expression, but I think you get what I'm saying. And so you can say, okay, this is an artisan, and you can write here the number of how much destiny you feel that they deserve. So let's go to Yarik. They've been an amazing player, receive 5, confirm, and now they in their character sheet they receive 5 more destiny. So it's easy, it opens and shows you what you should be looking for, and then you decide how much if the roleplay was good or not. Would you like to add
again,
anything
these
to
are
that
all
macro?
features that
Yeah.
Sure, yeah. Before you show the next macro, just to comment that all these features are features that we discuss with our community. Sorry about that. Features that in many cases are recommended by the community that we work on developing. This is still in some ways a prototype where we have this creative vision of where we want Metathrop to be, and along the way we get some amazing contributions and suggestions from our community member, and it becomes even better than we initially set out to do. And because this is coming all together in the next few months, it's really important for us to hear feedback, and let us know how these things work or don't in some cases, and what you would like to see us focus on improving in terms of new functionality or additional features and whatnot.
Very cool. Let me just remove a little bit of clutter characters over here, and let's see the next macro, which is definitely a narrator's favorite, which is the end of the scene macro. So whereas end of a session. So whereas at the end of each scene you get awarded with destiny, aka the rerolls, at the end of each scene you are awarded with XP. I was showing the other one. End of an act. Oh, okay, I clicked the wrong macro before. So this one is the end of a scene. As you can see, here are the protagonists on the left side, the arc and the regression, which is like their chosen ones, and then you decide how much destiny each one is worth at the end of each scene. It confirms and automatically goes to the character sheet. It's been applied. When it comes to end of an act, it's a bit more elaborate. They can actually change their regression and arcs as they are progressing and developing as characters. And we also have the end of the session, where during the end of every session characters are being awarded experience based on the roleplay, acting, achieving goals, facing adversity, influencing the world around them, and discovering new locations and characters or clues and events. So you have like the current XP. Again, what are the arcane locations to help you remember what the role play, how many sessions have played, because this actually also is important. And then let's say, so this character has been very good at role play, not so much at acting, and this and that. And then you see that all these tally marks, let's call them tally marks now, are each of them is being worth 100. So by clicking confirm, this way 5, 6, 7, 8, and 6 more, we give this character 1400 XP. Boom. Just as easy.
So essentially,
Yeah.
players are awarded experience at the end of each session, according to the rules, based on the roleplay and the other tally marks, as you explained. And then at the beginning of the next session, or whenever the narrator chooses, because sometimes you break a session at the middle of a combat or something like that. But in most cases, the narrator at the beginning of the next session will give some time for the players to do a level up or spend
Actually,
their
sorry.
hard-earned experience, right?
Yeah. Well, the experience is given in between the end of a session up till the beginning of a next, no matter if it's a combat or whatever at the end of last session. So we also have some dimensional effects to show to our dear audience, including the 3 main dimensions and an easy macro that you can click and you can change the environment. This one, for example, is Nether. This one takes everyone in Nether. As you can see, everything's more gloomy. There are ashes falling and creates this perfect dark atmosphere for a more macabre setting, I suppose, which is Nether. We also have Astral. I think I can click them from here also. Anyway, we also have the Astral macro, which takes them to the Astral dimension. It's all about dreams and subconscious, which is filled with the silver mists of Astral. And as you can see, everything is more dreamy. There are silver mists and infused with the subtle touch of psychic energy. And last but not least, we have the Ether macro, which is actually not last, we have one more, which is basically gives you the feeling as if you are inside water and everything is a little bit twirling and a little bit more iridescent and washed away by the white weathers of Ether. And we also have a multiversal effect, which is players can use in the introductory session, which shows like filling the world with little bubbles, each of them including like birthing a small timeline within. Obviously it's just bubbles here, but we can work it a bit with theater of mind.
So the idea is that those 3 distinct effects that John demonstrated are going to be expanded upon in the 3 new modules. And essentially, besides having some cool visual effects, it will also change some of the system rules depending on how deep into Nether you travel, for example, or how deep into each dimension you go. Both the visual effect, the audio effects, and the system applied effects to your characters are going to be increasing in strength the deeper you go. So for example, one of the features of the Ether dimension is the fact that durations expire much faster the deeper you go. Right, John?
Yes. Yes, indeed. And you also get healed, auto-healed, something I always forget to auto-heal my players when they are in Nether, but soon, it will be automatically made. So narrators which are forgetful, such as myself, won't need to worry about those things.
Exactly.
We're also showing here some very cool design and illustrations and concept art. I really love the way that this quick start looks and feels. We would love to hear your feedback on chat, especially if you download it and have a look up close yourself. So we have lots of examples, lots of tables to make your life easy. We use font awesome, which are going to be incorporated into the VTT. We have our own font, as you can see here, which also is going to be incorporated to the VTT. We have cool new tables, cool new characters, and look at this guy. This guy is like Omniman a bit, like with a mustache. Doesn't even like a Viltrumite. He could be a Viltrumite, this guy.
A Viltrumite with portals and
obviously, Viltrumites don't have abilities such as portals, so already a Metanthrope is stronger than a Viltrumite. That's canon. And speaking of death, since we are on the subject of death, as you can see over here, so in case your character dies in this game, it's not game over, because when it comes to actually, all the other resolutions have gone out the window and just plain old combat and fight or kill or die situation. In case your character dies during combat by having their life reduced by 0 or lower, they can choose to spend an amount of destiny, the special resource that we're talking about, an amount of times equal to the sessions they've played with this character to save them from dying. So if it's your very first session and your character dies, you can only spend 1 destiny and you remain alive with 1 life, like still barely making it. But if you played like 10 sessions, 20, this is getting a very difficult. So this is a reason maybe that Metanthropes out there in the multiverse, the more experienced they are, the more the more reluctant they are to intervene to other timelines and save others and use their meta powers. If they spend destiny, it's a very important resource. Can save you from dying, can activate all your high level meta powers. And also, in case you don't want to spend destiny to save this character from dying, destiny and experience in this game are player bound. So that means that you take them and you give them to the next character you play, so you don't have to start from level 1, or you don't need to worry, all my progress is gone. Obviously, for narrative reasons, your character won't be playable if this is a way that you want to go with your group. But when it comes to balancing a newcomer to the table and all the progress that you've made is not lost, everything is stored, and there's actually an in-game reason for that. As we introduced and spoke earlier in the mythos about the concept of a true soul, which essentially represents the actual player controlling possibly multiple protagonists in the same saga or in a multiversal saga, multiple. So there is an in-game reason why we have this mechanic, and it's pretty cool. And it's better than the 3 death saves of D&D 0.5. Ooh, Born! And now I think it's a very nice opportunity as we go into the chapter 3 protagonists, and we're talking about protagonists, to show character creation, our current, let's say, character creation in Foundry VTT. What say you, QP?
Yeah, sounds great.
So instead of, we shall say like the theory by watching the quick start, and then we're gonna actually run it on the VTT. The first step, when you're being introduced to a story, you have to make a roll, which is the roll of how much destiny does your character have. When the beginning of the story, at least, is destiny with your character's side, or they have been fate struck, they have like 1 destiny or something, or like 30, because it's a wild game, everything can happen. Next big step is that you choose your prime meta power, which is the most important thing of the game. Then you choose your stats, your roleplay details, you spend your starting XP, you add your personal details, and you're ready to go. So how about we actually show the process? I think it's going to be more fun by going to Actors tab and creating a new actor. The first person on chat who says any name, I will use that name, the character, the next 30 seconds or something. The next thing that someone types on chat, I will use as this name, protagonist name. Please, no profanity. And yeah, James, yeah, faithful 3-0, did not leave us hanging. James is a protagonist, so I create James. So QP, if you want, you can take more liberties and give, breathe some life into this James. So let's roll James.
Awesome.
As you can see, the very first thing that we roll.
By
Sorry?
seeing how lucky he is, his destiny.
Yeah. So the base is 2d10. This game uses. Ooh, Ziggy wants to roll. So you have 2d10 plus 8. This is like a fairly balanced base for characters. But in this game, when you roll d10, which you only roll for damage or durations and all such numbers, in case of a roll of a 10, this is plus 10 effect, you add it to the total and reroll. Let's see if this happens with our starting destiny. And very good roll. No explosions though. But Ziggy heard James. Lol. We got 26 destiny, not bad for the starting character. And as you can see, the very next option that we have here, let's close all the other windows and focus on this one. You choose your prime meta power. You can do so directly by scrolling down through all the 100 meta powers that they are. Let me double check that this drop down menu shows. Oh, it doesn't show, right?
Yeah,
it shows. It shows, cool. But instead, you can narrow it down by starting and selecting a classification. Give me a classification QP.
So let's go with perhaps my favorite being Cosmonaut.
Cosmonaut, excellent. Energy type. Suppose cosmic. Maybe there are like one psychic or something. Sure, let's go with cosmic.
Well, the thing is that perhaps you can show right now, if you click on the prime meta power now that you have filtered, you only see not the full list of 100, but you only see the prime meta powers that, based on the filters you applied,
it narrows down.
available.
So if I choose psychic, there's only one astral projection here.
Great, let's go with that.
Let's go with the astral projection. So this one is the main big option we have to choose for James. Is he between the main characteristics of the game, which is body, mind, and soul? You don't roll body, mind, and soul this game, but they set like the basis, the core stat of your character. I think James definitely works out. James has a strong will, but James that hasn't sharpened his mind as of late. So we're gonna go with body, soul, mind. Click confirm, and then we go to the body and choose between endurance, power, or reflexes, which is the first, second, and third option. James is very powerful, very fast, but sometimes gets sick. James is a very cool guy overall. If we can establish something in this live stream, is that everybody likes James. So yeah, let's roll for James. So what happens now is that we made a kinda base roll, like a messed roll, which the result is over here, bolded 15. We have 26 destiny, so definitely power is important for James. You should invest in some rerolls. You can reroll as many times as you want, but you always take the last result and you cannot go back. Now the total was even worse, was 10. So definitely want to see some explosives over there. Let's roll until we see some cool dice exploding. Oh man, no luck for James over here. Let's try a little harder. Nah, there's one. Okay, let's say 27. 27 is definitely a very nice stat. So when you're satisfied, you can press confirm, and then we move on to the next. Reflexes, we rolled. Let's say we're satisfied with our reflexes. Let's say we're satisfied with our endurance.
So,
Next one.
John, you might want to elaborate a little bit on where you should spend your destiny when you're creating a new character. What is
Right.
important?
Right.
Where is important to spend and where you shouldn't.
What I think is that we should include in the previous step is when you choose your prime meta power, it will automatically show which is the stat used for that one. So when you go, which I just came up with that, but I think it's good. So when you go to the next step,
No, it's already
in the works. Okay,
on the roadmap for the next.
that's cool.
UI, yeah.
Depending on your prime meta power, this is the stat that you should focus. So which one was it for James? Was it astral projection? So it's consciousness. So we haven't been to the soul yet. So we should store some of our destiny. These are the stats of the mind, perception, creativity, and manipulation. James is a it's a silver-tongued, handsome devil. Definitely manipulation first. Very creative, but not very perceptive. Getting lost quite often. So let's go with that. Manipulation. Mediocre roll. Let's say we spend a few destiny, but yeah, we're not actually trying to make a good. It's 43! 43!
This is great.
This is like a.
This
I think
is
37 was the previous. Oh, Jesus Christ. So, wow. How did that happen? We can click here and see the further details because I want to investigate this. So we wrote 8, 10, 10. Then the two tens exploded, resulting in the further 8 and 7 to a 43 stat. Like just the rolls. I think this is gonna be like the most powerful character we've ever had or something. Oh wow, James. Good for you, James. Looking good. Confirm, obviously, this amazing
As
stat.
you said, he was a smooth talker indeed.
He's like the can convince you to, I am the mayor of this town. It's that type of person. Definitely James should consider including to his arsenal meta charisma and other broken meta power with such high. But yeah, let's say that now it's time to put consciousness as our prime meta power on top. Also willpower, very important. So this one is example, a stat that the player really needs to invest and don't stop until they have above 20. Have exactly 20 and 18 destiny. I believe every player would push their luck more, right, QP?
Yeah, I tend to think in creating a new meta that all the destiny that I get when rolling a new character needs to be spent during character creation. Well, not necessarily need, but in most cases, at least the way I see it, I don't mind entering a new session 0, session 1, with just a couple of destiny.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind at all.
I see what you're saying. I agree. Usually, I haven't played actually Metathrops never as a player, but I think if I were a player playing it, it's maybe more appropriate to spend all of your destiny character creation, and then you will find more destiny. But then again, you might. But spending all of your destiny doesn't guarantee result. You have the best character because you might end up having worse.
No,
stats.
of course not. Of course not. It's you definitely don't want to gamble, especially if you have very few destiny. Now, this as a starting player, I think James started with something like 28, which is great.
Yeah.
But I've seen players starting with like 9 or 10 or something low as that, and in those cases, you just want to focus on re-rolling your primary stats that you feel that this character is going to use all the time. So if you're building a combat focused character, things like your power or reflexes, or if you're like a mind controller, you want your manipulation possible. So
Dump
if I
all of
have
the
very few
stats.
destiny to start with, I will focus on probably what my prime meta power wants as a stat, and go from there. If I have
Definitely.
more destiny, I'm just
Yeah,
gonna send it.
I think that's very good advice. I would like your help, QP, now to go to the rollable tables, and you make the roll so I can show the chat results. And starting with the 2 rolls for a random background, we have made some cool rolls for you, rollable tables in the VTT. And yeah, if you want to roll and see some random stuff, we have a lost prisoner. Oh, it's fucking epic, man. James, you're the most interesting character in the world. We have like the first rolls an adjective like lost, handsome, quick, whatever, nimble, and the other one like an occupation. So you can, and the occupations are more like not era specific, like could be. Most of them are more broad. So this one ended up being a lost prisoner. It's like, how can you be lost if you're a prisoner? Actually, it's interesting. Let's go on with the random metamorphosis roll. The D10 roll. We have 10 pre-made metamorphosis options for you. You can create, of course, your own, but these ones are very, have a wide spectrum. And Dark Pact. Ooh, why, James? Why did you make a Dark Pact to achieve to gain your meta powers? But you did. But what's important is how you use them. So QP, if you may roll James Arc. And indeed, yes, I knew it. He made a deal with the devil, but he's a protector at heart. So it doesn't matter if it's fucking amazing. I love this guy. This is my new favorite NPC. And what would be the regression of James, though? So Arc is like your main agenda. To clarify, metamorphosis is how you became a metanthrope. Arc is how you use your meta power essentially. And regression is what is a defining attribute of your character that makes you human. Even though you are beyond, you're still rooted to human passions and beliefs. And in this case, it is the artistic nature of James that drives him. Do not consider regression as the weakness of my character. They are regression awards destiny just the same as Arc, so they're both very important for your character. Ziki has some further suggestions about this very interesting metanthrope we have. Lost prisoners with Dark Pact, undercover cop, something like it. This could work for James. So we confirm, and this is I think last step, almost last, which you include your starting XP and perks. You ask your narrator if you're allowed to give more than the super starting. Let's say that this is an epic saga which starts with 10 perks and 10,000 XP. Confirm. Of course, you put on the name James. You can put all the appropriate details to be shown on the character sheet. And once you're ready, you click on confirm, and so it begins. And this was a very fun and interactive with chat character creation of a very, very interesting metanthrope. James will be appearing in the next multiversal story, most definitely. And he will be like a master manipulator through dreams,
Perhaps we should check out how the stats look for James now that we've
now let's see actually James. So finalized James has so his mind was like that. He chose only 10. He has 53 manipulation. That's crazy. So yeah, overall we have like highs, a few highs, almost 60%, but one that's like very difficult to succeed. Let's try perception roll, James. It's an important one, James. No, it's very difficult for James to be perspective. It's usually someone else in the coalition that saves James from getting lost.
It definitely fits with him being a lost prisoner. Maybe
definitely. Yeah.
It was
Nice.
something that was like really basic, and he kind of lost his way, and He got trapped somewhere.
Yeah, sounds like it.
Trying to smooth talk his way out of it.
Well, the important
But
thing
yeah,
is
I
that
mean, James, when the the heart hits the fan, as they say, his body will pull through. He has amazing power and reflexes, and he's in a way spiritual guy. He's quite conscious of things that affect his soul. So overall, I should say it's quite a balanced character. Typically, you don't want to have, or maybe you do, depending on the build and the story and the setting and the group decisions. But I really like characters that are not like glass cannons. Do one thing really well and fail in everything else. I really like this more of
I
an
like
approach.
glass cannon characters
And
actually. They're fun. Well, I play NPCs
I mean,
mostly. That's why.
but yeah, this little thing showcases just a little bit of the um, huge variety of characters that you can create with the system. And this is, again, what John is showing is more of what is currently available when you download as a free system on Foundry. You can check some of these things out, and also you can keep holding for a few more months until we release our new UI. That's going to include a new progression screen and way of interacting and progressing your characters. So stay tuned for more and more interactive cool things coming in the VDT very soon.
Yeah, and also included in the character creation process, we have like the tables here that we rolled on the VTT in the form for print format. But we also include like hyperlinks that you can click underneath to give you like the full detailed version. To if you want to get more details about all your arc and regression options and other cool stuff. Again, the character creation system and the XP spending system, which we're not going to show today in the VTT, is covered in this quick start. So basically all the rules of the game are here. The only thing that does not include is the content, which can be found digitally instantly at our website right now and through our early access modules on Foundry, premium modules on Foundry VTT. And as for the 100 meta powers, you can find them on the core module, on the website as a narrator or a protagonist. And you can also enjoy, there is also the option of enjoying the anthologies with the introductory. So taking the introductory pre-made characters and continuing from there. We definitely have options for all our backers here. Speaking of backers, never forget that we are live. Our campaign is live. Underneath me, you see a nice number. Oh, how much I would wish to see it crossing that the next threshold of 3,200 and helping us get one step closer to our goal. So what else do you think we can cover and showcase to people today, QP? I think we can do a little more to, create a little bit more content.
Yeah, absolutely. You talked a little bit briefly about well, you didn't talk actually about the perks. Perhaps we can elaborate a little bit about that.
Sure thing. So the perks are like extra background option for your characters, essentially, whether that would be in the form of knowledge, such as my character has academics, has lore, knows stuff about the multiverse, or is an engineer and a scientist, or skills who have more like a field practice, like athletics or using weapons or operating vehicles and machinery and devices. And start with some free perks, and they're pretty cheap when it comes to increasing and progressing them in game, but they do require some time time spent learning them in game. So usually they're being developed through during downtimes, but it depends on the table and the narrator's preferences. Perks could be another very good freebie, a word at the end of an act, like a very big story that they discovered, like an ancient library full of multiversal secrets. You can go ahead as a narrator and give all your players like +2 academics, +2 lore after the next downtime or something like that. And
perks in terms of the skills you have, as you mentioned, John, also affect what you can do and how well you can in terms of possessions. So for example, I gave James a few possessions here, so you can see if you try to use let's say the weapon without the proper weapon
so
skill.
Yeah, this is like an automatic rifle weapon. I think it requires like level 2 or 3 to use. So let's say James doesn't have that skill and attempts to roll, and I don't know if you can see it clearly, but it actually automatically calculates that James received a reduction of -30 due to missing the perk level required. So it automatically applies the reduction and automatically shows the result. You can spend Destiny until you make it or fail even more dramatically.
In James's case, he only needs a critical success in order to make this roll without training.
Yeah,
so
I didn't see that.
If James picks up an assault rifle, only if he's extremely lucky, shoots with his extremely low perception.
James will try with his 17 perception now to ride a jetpack and fly. Oh, that was actually close. It wasn't close. It wasn't close at all. It wasn't close at all because it has like we can actually open it and see the requirement. Yes, it has operations at level 5, so it's like maximum requirement. Weapon Lexia, James, we're not sure if he has Weapon Lexia. If you were role-playing James, how would you call this weapon, QP? What type of weapon is this?
This is a rifle, I think. Oh, it says so on the title.
You got that right. Yeah, it says on the title. But if I showed you something more complex, no, it's okay. Yeah, we don't have the items here. Yeah.
Weapon Lexia is a true condition, guys.
Yeah,
it's very dangerous.
It's very dangerous when you want to warn your coalition that they're attacking us with reins, with firearms, and instead they come katanas or something. Watch out for their bows. Weapon Lexia. So I think it has been a fun and nice demo. I realized that I don't really want it to go more than 1.5 hours because I might have to sync it. Yeah, gazebo. What the hell is a gazebo? I don't want to sync with audio during editing or something, which I might actually have to with 1.5 hours. But I think we showcased our good audience the quick start, which again you can find on our website and here on chat. Check it out, download it for free, enjoy it, play some session with Metanthropes. Actually, theoretically you can play with just that because you need the meta powers. But yeah, let's talk about what we have in store for tomorrow. Tomorrow is Valentine's Day, and we have 2 special guests. We're gonna join us together, the creators of Caught in the Rain, solo TTRPG by Reven's. Apologies, I don't know the name by heart. Reven's Imperium. Anyway, sorry. So definitely join us tomorrow. And I think, there are more live streams. Legit Cast episode 4 will be released someday soon. We have a live stream on Nether, the first lore live stream out there. There are gonna be 2 more. We're gonna have like 3 player interaction place test events that we play live, and a few more legit cast episodes, 1 more lore. All these are live streams, and they're gonna happen like 11 days. So yeah, they're gonna be very, very busy days for us. Lots of content being made. And yeah, we have this live boss fight, the final day, penultimate day. You're gonna join. You don't even have to be a backer, just a member of the community. Join and fight with Samsiel. Go there, hit here and do stuff. A live boss fight with everyone participating. We're gonna reveal the winners of our sweepstakes contest. And we have at least a couple of cool surprises that we don't want to reveal just yet. Ooh la la, QP, what's up with you as we're signing off?
Yeah, indeed. There's a lot of cool prizes and things that are going to be revealed in the next few days. And boom, as I apply this globe of fire.
Wow.
I think it's unless chat wants us to talk about something specific, I think we can.
Yeah, let's give the chat one more chance to
pull it
back
off
us live,
for the day.
see me react live to a live pledge. This has never happened. If we sync well, it happens. I will scream and shout and let it all out. And truth be told, we are in the need of your support. It's gonna be a close call, most likely. Who knows? This is kickstarted as a crowdfund. Definitely, if you're considering supporting us, do so now so that you will create a momentum and more will follow. You have many amazing sites to show you, amazing features, new technologies implied to make your immersive digital experiences even more immersive. And can't wait to show you what else we have in store for this campaign and Metanthropes anthologies. Thank you, QP, for joining us for this live stream. We're looking forward to see you next when we play those PvE and PvP and all the meta arenas. That was a pause to sign you off.
Lovely. Thank you for having me, guys. Love the questions.
Yes. Thanks everyone for watching. I have been your host and editor, John. And before I sign us off, let's find someone. Table Story. They're like huge, but sure, let's rate them with our 5 people. Because they're making amazing content. Last time I checked them. So pick up your rating access. Thank you very much for joining us. If you're watching this on YouTube in the other dimension, see what I did there, click that subscribe, notify, likes, comments, all those things, and stay legit and stay meta.